I would just like to say a big thank you to VFO for sending me the A139 3-channel dashcam. I'm a big fan of VFOs, and as I have two A129s at the moment, so I'm really excited to test it. So here is everything that is included when you buy this camera. So this camera is very easy to install. It's like any other front and rear camera. It should take half an hour to an hour depending on if you've done it before or not. So in order to go through the settings of this camera, you obviously going to need to plug the camera in, and you're going to need a device of some sort, i.e. a phone or a tablet. So I need to plug the camera in. That will turn it on, hopefully. Yeah, there she goes. Then you gotta wait for it to actually start, because as you know, VFO...
Recording, 2 channels started.
There we go. And then we need to put the Wi-Fi on, which is this far button here, and we hold it down.
Wi-Fi enabled.
There you go, now the camera bit's ready. So with the phone, you obviously need to go into your settings, and then you need to go to network and internet, and then you need to go into Wi-Fi. I've got it off because I'm currently on holiday and haven't got any Wi-Fi. There you go, automatically connects because I've already connected to it.
Wi-Fi connected.
And as you can see, the camera knows it. So if you do this the first time, there is a password which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, now I've done that, I now need to go to the Vfo app, which I've got here. Yes, nice picture of my dog, hence the name. And then you come to this. Now you can download the Vfo app using the App Store. So that's quite straightforward, just type in Vfo and you'll find it. And then you just connect your phone to your camera. And it's got a live relay of it, so if I turn my phone 90 degrees. Like so. This is going to be difficult. Hang on, I propped it on my legs. There we go. You can then actually switch views to the back view like that, and the side view, and the both views. So if you have the third camera, it will go there, and obviously that will be the interior camera or wherever you want to place it. Now, if you want to go into settings, I'm better switching it that way around again. And then obviously stop recording. It'll start beeping at you, which means it's currently not recording, and then you can then go to settings, which is here. Hang on, let's have a look down again so you can see, hopefully. And then you've got video resolution, time-lapse mode, loop recording, recording the audio, but there is also a button on the camera that you can do that. And then the exposure, that's only useful, it's not really that useful. Wide DR, I never really know what that is, I never use it to be honest with you. G sensor, date stamp, and then other things like you can have 2.5 for the Wi-Fi channel, or you can have 5, a time zone. You can sync it with your phone, the time, which is quite useful. Date format, boot relay, don't really need that considering how long it takes anyway. Parking mode, which can't be used unless you hardwire it, so I can't show any of that. Image rotation, which again is useful, but it does have its problems, particularly with the rear camera, if you do use it. Doesn't it works out being the wrong way around. Notifications and voice, you can change it all, GPS, speed units, everything that you normally can do is now on the phone, which is much easier personally. If I go back, and I can put...
Recording, 2 channels started.
So it's now started again. And I can then go to... Oh, I need to press that, then I can then go back there again. And this then shows you all the files that you've had. So, like so. And then obviously I'll turn the camera back on.
Recording, 2 channels started.
There you go, perfect. So when you turn the camera on, it makes a noise, the usual VFO noise, and then a few seconds later it says 3 channels starting if you've got the 3 cameras connected. If you've only got 1 camera connected, it will only say 1, for example, or as I've got it, it's only got 2 cameras connected, so it will only say 2, but it's really useful because there's no screen obviously, so you know whether it's on or not.
channel started.
Now turn off to the left and then leave the next roundabout at the first exit.
Well over 100 similar cases in recent years, Parliament claims that its processes contributed to the death or injury of claimants.
Please take the first exit.
In January, an inquest found that 28 errors had been made in the way the government handled Philippa Day's application for the main disability benefit personal independence payments. Her family has now started.
Now we want to be the A3, we want to be the B3.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking.
So the video quality, the front camera is 144p and it can be at 60 frames per second if you only have the rear camera installed or no rear camera at all, just on its own. If you have all three, then it can only be 30 frames per second. The rear and interior camera are 1080p, which is the same as the VIOFo A139, and they're all 30 frames per second. The video quality of all cameras is very good, particularly with the PL filter, as long as that's installed correctly, which I didn't do to begin with. It really is very good. I have no faults with the video quality. So saving files, it's, well, just like any other camera. You can buy a Bluetooth button, which is good. It means you don't have to take your eyes off the road. Just compress it wherever you want to put it, i.e. the steering wheel. Some people put it elsewhere on the windscreen or on the dashboard. I personally don't have one because I only save files if there was an accident or something. And it's on the VFO, they're always on the front of the camera, not on the tops, and it's always a central one. And this is the same for the A139, so I just simply press that, and that will be relatively easy to do. It will inform me that the file is protected, just like it does when it starts, and it will make that beep 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 noise. So, parking mode. Now this is a little bit disappointing, but it sounds very clever. It's a shame though that I can't use it. It only works if you hardwire it. Now that's alright for most people, but the Octavia, this particular generation Octavia, has the 12-volt socket, which is always live whether the engine off or on. So it means that I can always plug the camera in and it stays on. Because it only works with hardwiring, the parking mode, it means I can't actually use the parking mode. Which is a bit of a disappointment because the other camera which I've reviewed, which is the Vfo N4, that has a parking mode. However, it works on motion detection, which means that I can plug that camera in, and it means that I can automatically use the parking mode without having to hardwire it in. So I feel that the Vfo's parking mode is actually slightly better because it doesn't require you to hardwire it. So problems. So this is quite useful. I've obviously got this from Vfo for free, but it doesn't mean I haven't had some problems with it. The first one I'd like to point out is I mounted the rear camera the wrong way around, which is fine, because you can just go into settings and flip it. However, when you flip it, it ends up being the wrong way around. And I don't know if you remember, but older rear cameras used to be like that. They used to be the wrong way around. In terms of, so it looks like you were driving in another country because the cars are on the wrong side of the road. I did change that by flipping the camera back to the correct way and then undoing it, but it's rather annoying, and I'm not quite sure why it does that. It should work absolutely fine the other way, but it doesn't. And the second point, which is more of a problem, is that in order to download files, I remove the camera. And for some reason, every time I remove the camera and put it back in, when I first started up, it only records 2 channels. And then about 5 minutes later, it then starts recording the third one. Now, it's not a problem because I'm planning to use the camera just purely as a 2-channel camera. Maybe add the third at some point, but for the moment 2. There's not a major problem, but I don't know why it's doing that, and there shouldn't be any reason. And it only happens when I remove the camera. If I put in the camera, go on the journey, come back, then go on another journey, it starts with the 3 instantly. So it's quite strange. I'm not sure why it does that. But I just wanted to let you know that is a problem I've had with the camera. So the cost of the camera, it costs $269 on their website, which are roughly equivalent to £190. The Vfo N4 is £230, so it's cheaper than the Vfo, and it has GPS fitted to standard, which the Vfo doesn't. That's an extra 20 quid, I think. So that's really good for that benefit. It is not the easiest thing to find at the moment. For example, on Amazon, for some reason, it's £280. So if you buy it directly from the manufacturer, or I think AliExpress, I believe it's £185. Overall, it's a good price as long as you don't buy it from Amazon. So the summary, what do I think of this camera? What am I planning to do in the future, and would I recommend you buy it? So it's a great camera setup. Front, rear, interior. The great thing about the interior camera in this one is it's separate, so you could always change it and around. Doesn't necessarily just have to be for the interior. You could have it pointing outwards if you wanted to, or out the side. So I think that's a really useful feature. I do love VFO dash cams. As I said, I got 2 A129s, and this one doesn't disappoint. I would like to say that I do prefer the Vfo N4 parking mode, as I can actually use it. But that camera doesn't come with GPS, as I said. So therefore, I'm quite happy to say that I do prefer this camera. I personally have replaced the VIOFO A139, which is the one that I've got 2 of, in the Octavia, and be using this as my new camera. Reason being is it has a wider angle lens, and the front quality is 144p rather than 1080p, so slightly better resolution. I also find that having to use it with the phone is also much easier than having to fiddle around with all the buttons. I do plan to install the rear camera in the future, sideways facing out the driver's side. I do have an idea on how to do that, but I'm incredibly busy at the moment with other things which have to take priority. So I'm unable to do that at the moment, but hopefully when I get a bit of time free, I'll be able to do that. The only thing that I would like to say is I was hoping to, at the moment in the Octavia, there's the VIOFO A129 and the Vfo N4. And the reason I had the Vfo N4 is for the parking mode, so when it's parked up, I can put that camera on, and then it means that I get covered. The reason for that is before Christmas it got hit by another car and driven away. Minor damage, but still, that's not the point. And the idea was that the A139 would replace the Vfo N4 and the A129, so I only needed 1 camera in that car. However, because the parking mode only works with hardwiring, I'm unable to do that. And it means I still have to use the Vfo as the parking camera, which is slightly disappointing. So it means that the Vfo is staying as a main camera. So anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this review, and if you have any questions about this camera or any more information you think I've missed, please do write in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and I hope you are all well. Bye for now.